Our trip starts in Hoi An as we strap our gear to the bikes and get ready to hit the open road. We're going on an easy rider tour to cruise through the Central Highlands of Vietnam. While you can ride on your own, having a guide allows you to learn a lot more along the way. Our guide told us that the Viet Cong would hide out here during the war. Before heading out of town, we made a quick stop at the beach. Not a good day for swimming, but nice either way. Next up, we stopped at a local farm. Mr. Chin showed us how it's done. And then I gave it a try. Don't think I'd make a great farmer. We even stopped in his village and went into his house to meet his wife and kids before embarking on the 4-day trip. On the way out of town, we stopped in this shop that makes various crafts out of used bombshells from the war. Then it was back on the road. While most travelers to Southeast Asia know about the temples of Angkor and Bagan, did you know that there are also ancient ruins to visit in Vietnam? The Hindu temples of Misan were built between the 4th and 14th centuries and are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. These temples, now abandoned and mostly in ruins, were dedicated to the worship of the god Shiva. This was the religious and political capital of the Champa Kingdom for most of its existence. Although not quite as impressive as the other, more famous temples of Southeast Asia, Misan is well worth a visit on a trip through Vietnam. The crowds are far smaller, providing for a more peaceful visit than Angkor Wat. Restoration efforts began here in the late 1930s by the French, but many buildings were destroyed during the Vietnam War. In fact, landmines remain in the surrounding area, so don't wander off too far. The restoration work continues to this day, so don't be surprised to see crews on scaffolding working away. Before leaving, we grabbed a quick lunch with our guide. Back on the bike, we were really out in the countryside. Off to the side of the road, we could see farmers and their water buffalo plowing the fields. In order to cross the river, we had to get our bikes on the local ferry. I was worried I was going to gun it and fall into the water, but thankfully I made it on just fine. Safely on the other side, we pulled over to check out a real-life pineapple farm. Although we had eaten pineapples countless times, we had never actually seen the sweet fruit growing in person. They eventually make it down to the road where they're sorted out and brought to market. We picked one up and ate it right there. The next river crossing was aided by a bridge, and we ended up in an ethnic minority village. Our guide showed us around a bit and explained the differences in language and culture between the minority groups and the majority Viet. The girls and women in the village were all fascinated by Rachel's legs. Stopping in these villages would be much more difficult without the assistance of a local guide. In the dark, we checked out a waterfall, and then stopped to put on our full-body raincoats. Finally, it was time for dinner. Fish, wild deer, morning glory with garlic, some eggs, and a cold beer to end the day.